Before we begin, if you love deep, simple explanations of Quranic stories and life-changing lessons from Islam, make sure you subscribe to this channel right now. This channel is all about wisdom that strengthens faith, builds character, and brings clarity to everyday life, so hit that subscribe button and let's get into today's powerful lesson from Sūrah Luqmān. Sūrah Luqmān begins by pulling your attention straight into the reality that real wisdom, the kind that changes your mindset, your character, your whole direction in life, comes only from Allah, the one who shapes hearts and opens minds. The surah starts with the mysterious letters Alif Lam Mim, sending a silent message that what you're about to hear isn't human speech, isn't philosophy, and isn't random, it's the voice of the Creator guiding His creation. As soon as these letters settle, Allah describes the Qur'an as a book overflowing with deep wisdom, mercy, and direction, crafted to help you rise above confusion, stress, and the noise of the world. It's a reminder that the Qur'an isn't just something to recite, it's a manual for living with purpose, gratitude, and inner stability. The introduction shines a light on the people who actually benefit from the Qur'an. Those who are sincere in their faith, those who protect their hearts from arrogance, those who stay consistent in prayer, and those who trust Allah enough to surrender their worries to Him. Then the surah contrasts them with those who let worldly distractions numb them, people who chase pleasure, entertainment, or pride so much that they become spiritually disconnected and lost inside themselves. This comparison is gentle but powerful, almost like a mirror inviting you to check which path you're on. By laying all of this out before introducing the wisdom of Luqmān, the surah prepares your soul to receive His advice in a humble and softened state. It's as if Allah is clearing the space inside your heart, removing the clutter, and creating room for wisdom to land deeply and permanently. The intro carries this calming, steadying energy, reminding you that the Qur'an is not just a set of rules but a guide, a comfort, and a light for anyone who wants to live with clarity. Before Luqmān speaks, Allah makes sure you understand the source of all guidance, so that when the wisdom comes, you don't just hear it with your ears, you feel it reshaping your character from the inside out. 1. Allah's signs and the gift of the Qur'an. Allah follows the introduction by shining a spotlight on the greatest blessing He has given humanity, the Qur'an. This part of Sūrah Luqmān reminds you that the Qur'an itself is a sign from Allah, a proof of His care, His wisdom, and His mercy. It's described as a book that guides people toward the best version of themselves, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and morally. Allah makes it clear that this book is not ordinary, it's a living miracle, a light in darkness, and a cure for the heart. In these verses, Allah lists the signs scattered throughout creation, things we see every single day but take for granted. He invites you to notice the perfection in the sky, the harmony of the earth, the balance in night and day, and the countless blessings that surround you. Each one is a reminder that none of this is random, every detail has purpose, every system has design, and every blessing has a giver. Allah highlights that the people who benefit from these signs are those who reflect, think deeply, and open their hearts instead of rushing blindly through life. This section teaches you that the Qur'an and the natural world work together to wake up your soul. The Qur'an gives you guidance, and creation gives you reminders. It's like Allah is saying, look around you. Look within you. Every sign points back to me. These verses set the stage for the wisdom of Luqmān by showing that true understanding comes from paying attention to the signs Allah has placed everywhere. Wisdom begins when you recognize that nothing in life is accidental, and everything in life leads you back to the Creator. 2. The story of Luqmān and the gift of wisdom. When the surah finally introduces Luqmān, it does it in a way that instantly makes you respect him. Not because of his wealth, his status, or his achievements, but because Allah personally chose to bless him with wisdom. This is huge. The Qur'an rarely highlights individuals with this honor, so when Allah says He gave Luqmān wisdom, it's like a spotlight shining on his character. This section teaches that wisdom isn't something you pick up by chance, it's a special gift that Allah places in the hearts of those who live with sincerity, humility, and deep awareness of Him. Before sharing any of Luqmān's advice, Allah describes the mindset that made him worthy of wisdom, gratitude. Luqmān was someone who recognized Allah's blessings, big and small, and responded not with arrogance or entitlement but with genuine thankfulness. This shows that gratitude is the doorway to wisdom. If your heart is ungrateful, you block understanding. But when you appreciate Allah's gifts, He increases you in insight, calmness, and clarity. The surah makes it clear that Luqman wasn't a prophet, yet his wisdom was so powerful that Allah recorded it in the Qur'an for all generations to benefit from. This teaches you that you don't need a title to make an impact. Allah elevates whoever He wants. Luqman became a role model simply through his righteousness, character, and understanding. This part of the surah also highlights that wisdom isn't about speaking fancy words. It's about knowing how to live, how to think, how to handle people, and how to stay close to Allah in every situation. It's about seeing through the illusions of this world and focusing on what truly matters. The way Allah introduces Luqman builds anticipation. It's like the Quran is telling you, listen carefully, because what this man is about to say is coming from a heart that Allah Himself has blessed. This section is basically the warm-up before Luqman starts advising his son. It prepares your mindset to absorb his advice with respect, seriousness, and an open heart. It also teaches you that wisdom is something you earn through patience, reflection, gratitude, and a clean heart, not through loudness, pride, or showing off. Luqman's story becomes a reminder that the people who leave the deepest impact are those whose hearts Allah has enlightened. This moment in the surah transitions you perfectly into the legendary father-to-son advice that follows, making you ready to receive it not just as random words, but as golden guidance from a man whom Allah honored. 3. The advice of Luqman to his son. This is the heart of Sūrah Luqmān, the moment where Luqman shares his wisdom directly with his son. The Quran presents it as timeless guidance, not just for his child, but for every generation. Luqman begins with the foundation of faith, the most important lesson: never associate partners with Allah, because shirk, the act of giving Allah a partner, is the gravest injustice. By starting with this, Luqman emphasizes that all other guidance only works if your heart is rooted in the correct understanding of God. Without faith, every action loses its direction. Next, he teaches gratitude, not only to Allah but also to parents. He reminds his son that while Allah deserves the highest thanks, parents also deserve kindness because of the sacrifices they make. Yet, he makes it realistic. He acknowledges that parents can make mistakes or pressure you in ways you don't agree with. Even then, the advice is to treat them with respect and patience. This shows emotional intelligence. True wisdom balances faith, morality, and practical living. Luqman also stresses personal accountability. He tells his son that every deed, even as small as a mustard seed, will be accounted for on the day of judgment. This encourages mindfulness and conscious living, teaching that actions, both good and bad, have weight. It's a gentle but firm reminder that life is not random and that every choice matters. Another essential point is maintaining prayer, salah. Luqman links spirituality to daily habits, emphasizing that structured worship strengthens the heart, sharpens the mind, and keeps one aligned with righteousness. He encourages his son to command good and forbid evil, meaning one should promote virtue and stand against wrongdoing, reflecting integrity and courage. Luqman doesn't stop at external actions, he talks about inner character as well. He teaches patience during hardship, humility in social interactions, and avoidance of arrogance. Walking humbly on earth, speaking gently, and controlling anger are highlighted as markers of a wise and balanced life. The advice is comprehensive. It blends spirituality, morality, and practical social behavior in a way that's still relevant today. In essence, this advice is a complete life guide. It reminds us that wisdom isn't just intellectual knowledge, it's knowing how to live in alignment with Allah, respect others, and navigate life with patience, humility, and foresight. Luqman's words are a blueprint for a meaningful life, showing that wisdom is a combination of faith, character, gratitude, and action. 4. Allah's creation as proof of His power. After giving his son advice on faith, character, and personal conduct, Luqman turns attention to the world around him, teaching that true understanding comes from observing Allah's signs in creation. This section of Surah Luqman emphasizes that the natural world is full of lessons, and reflection on it strengthens both faith and wisdom. The surah points to the heavens, the earth, the alternation of night and day, the rain that nourishes the soil, and the cycles of life and death, all as clear evidence of Allah's infinite power, knowledge, and wisdom. Every detail in nature, from the tallest mountains to the tiniest seed, reflects divine planning and order. The Qur'an encourages believers to think deeply about these signs rather than take them for granted. For example, the way rain falls, grows plants, and feeds humans and animals is not random, it shows a system designed by Allah to sustain life. The surah also highlights human dependence on these natural processes, reminding us that nothing happens by chance. By observing creation carefully, one can see the mercy, precision, and care of the Creator. This point connects back to Luqman's earlier advice on gratitude. Recognizing the order and blessings in creation should naturally lead a person to thank Allah. It also encourages mindfulness, patience, and humility. Understanding that everything in the universe follows Allah's will gives perspective. Human life is small in comparison, yet every individual is accountable for their actions. By pointing to creation, Luqman teaches a practical way to strengthen faith. It's a reminder that wisdom is not only learned from instruction but also discovered through reflection and observation. The natural world is like a classroom, offering lessons to those who pause, think, and connect with Allah. For His Son, and for us, the message is clear: the world around us is full of signs meant to guide, teach, and remind us of the Creator's limitless power and care. Observing creation with reflection turns everyday life into an opportunity for spiritual growth, reinforcing all the moral and spiritual guidance Luqman has shared so far. 5. Warning against deception. In this part of Surah Luqman, Allah and Luqman shift the focus from personal conduct and reflection on creation to the challenges and distractions of life that can mislead people. The surah warns that many individuals are easily deceived by temporary pleasures, entertainment, false promises, and superficial appearances. Luqman teaches his son, and by extension all believers, that life is full of illusions designed to pull the heart away from truth, guidance, and gratitude to Allah. These distractions can be subtle, like chasing fame, wealth, or recognition, or they can be obvious, like following false leaders or indulging in actions that go against divine guidance. The lesson is clear: spiritual and moral success requires discernment and awareness. One must learn to look beneath the surface, to question motivations, and to evaluate whether what we pursue aligns with the path Allah has prescribed. Deception doesn't always come as an outright lie, it often comes wrapped in attractiveness, convenience, or social approval. The surah reminds believers to stay vigilant, not allowing the allure of worldly pleasures to outweigh their commitment to righteousness. This warning is also deeply practical. In the context of Luqman advising his son, it emphasizes that wisdom includes recognizing influences that may sway one's character and judgment. The son is taught that being wise is not just about knowing what is good, but also about avoiding what is misleading, even when it seems harmless or appealing. The Qur'an and Luqman both stress that humans have a responsibility to protect their hearts and minds from distractions that could weaken their faith, moral integrity, or gratitude. Ultimately, this point reinforces a central theme of the surah: life is temporary, and only alignment with Allah and His guidance ensures true success. By staying alert, reflective, and discerning, believers safeguard themselves from the subtle traps of deception, keeping their hearts open to wisdom, faith, and the lessons found in both divine revelation and the natural world. 7. The reality of this life. Surah Luqman continues by reminding us of a timeless truth. This life is temporary, and the real, lasting success lies in the hereafter. Luqman's advice emphasizes that while humans often get caught up in wealth, status, possessions, and fleeting pleasures, all of these are fleeting and cannot guarantee true happiness or security. The surah encourages reflection on life's transient nature, teaching that every worldly achievement, every comfort, and every pleasure is limited in time and cannot compare to the eternal reality that awaits after death. This lesson is particularly important in shaping wisdom and priorities. Luqmán's guidance makes it clear that a wise person does not get swept away by materialism, social pressures, or the constant pursuit of temporary satisfaction. Instead, the wise focus on building a life aligned with Allah's guidance, cultivating character, gratitude, faith, and good deeds that will endure beyond this world. The surah contrasts those who are distracted by temporary gains with those who remember that true security and peace come from devotion to Allah and preparation for the hereafter. The surah also teaches mindfulness. By understanding that life is temporary, one learns to value time, make thoughtful decisions, and invest effort in actions that carry eternal benefit. Every choice, whether in behavior, speech, or intention, becomes meaningful when viewed through the lens of the hereafter. This awareness fosters patience, resilience, and humility, because one realizes that setbacks, losses, or worldly disappointments are temporary and do not define ultimate success. In essence, this point ties together all of Luqmán's previous advice. It reinforces the idea that wisdom is not just knowledge, it is understanding life's bigger picture and living in a way that aligns with divine guidance. By internalizing the temporary nature of this world, believers are reminded to focus on what truly matters, avoid distractions, and invest in deeds, character, and faith that will last forever. If you're finding these lessons meaningful and you're learning something new, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. More stories from the Qur'an, more wisdom-filled reminders, and more content like this are coming your way, so stay connected and grow with us. 7. Allah's exclusive knowledge. One of the most profound lessons in Sūrah Luqmān is the reminder that certain knowledge belongs only to Allah, and humans have limits in what they can know or control. Luqmān highlights that there are 5 matters entirely in Allah's domain: the exact timing of the hour, day of judgment, the amount and timing of rainfall, what is in the wombs, what a person will earn tomorrow, and the place where a person will die. These examples are striking because they touch every aspect of human life. Future events, natural resources, life itself, and death, showing that even the things we most care about are under Allah's complete control. By teaching this, the surah humbles the believer, reminding us that no matter how much we plan, work, or worry, we cannot predict or dictate these ultimate realities. This awareness encourages trust and reliance on Allah, tawakkul, teaching that while we must strive and make effort, ultimate outcomes rest in His hands. It also fosters patience and contentment because believers understand that what Allah decrees is always perfect, even when it differs from personal expectations or desires. This section also deepens the earlier lessons of wisdom and mindfulness. Understanding human limitations is a crucial part of Luqmán's advice. It reminds his son that arrogance, impatience, and frustration often come from overestimating one's own control or knowledge. True wisdom comes when a person acknowledges their limits while striving to act rightly, leaving the results to Allah. Furthermore, reflecting on Allah's exclusive knowledge strengthens faith. It builds a mindset that is alert, humble, and spiritually balanced. Believers are guided to focus on what they can control: their intentions, actions, character, and obedience, while trusting Allah for everything else. This balance between effort and reliance is a key element of wisdom, showing that human life is a partnership with divine guidance. We do our best, but Allah decides the outcome. In essence, this point in the surah reassures the believer that life's uncertainties are not a reason for fear or despair. They are a reason to seek closeness to Allah, trust Him fully, and act with conscious purpose, knowing that everything, from the smallest detail to the greatest event, rests in His perfect knowledge. The final section of Sūrah Luqmān serves as a powerful closing reminder, wrapping together all the guidance, wisdom, and reflections shared throughout the surah. After exploring faith, gratitude, morality, reflection on creation, and awareness of life's transience, the surah ends by urging believers to trust Allah, recognize His wisdom, and remain steadfast in His guidance. This reminder reinforces the central theme that life is a test, and the key to success lies in submitting to Allah's will while applying the lessons of wisdom in daily life. The closing verses highlight the importance of consistency and mindfulness. Believers are encouraged to carry the advice of Luqman into their behavior, speech, and intentions. This means being humble, patient, grateful, and conscious of both visible actions and inner intentions. It also emphasizes that spiritual growth is continuous, wisdom is not static. Every moment offers an opportunity to reflect, make better choices, and draw closer to Allah. Another key aspect of the closing reminder is reassurance. The surah reminds us that no matter the difficulties, uncertainties, or distractions we face, Allah's guidance is always accessible. His wisdom is perfect, His knowledge is complete, and His support is near. Believers are encouraged to hold fast to the Qur'an, to the lessons from righteous examples like Luqman, and to continually seek understanding through reflection on creation, prayer, and moral action. Finally, the closing serves as a spiritual anchor. It connects all previous lessons. From faith and gratitude to humility, patience, and reflection, into a coherent message: true wisdom, success, and peace come when one aligns heart, mind, and actions with Allah's guidance. The surah leaves the reader or listener with a sense of direction, hope, and purpose, reminding us that while life is full of trials and distractions, those who remain attentive, reflective, and devoted to Allah will always be on the path of lasting wisdom and success. Sūrah Luqmān begins by reminding us that true wisdom comes directly from Allah, and that the Qur'an is a divine guide full of timeless lessons. From the mysterious letters Alif Lam Mim to the early verses emphasizing the Qur'an's overflowing wisdom, the surah sets the tone for reflection, gratitude, and mindfulness. It teaches that guidance is a blessing, and those who approach it with humility, sincerity, and an open heart are the ones who benefit most. The surah then introduces Luqman, a man blessed by Allah with profound wisdom, not because of wealth or status, but because of gratitude, righteousness, and a heart tuned to divine understanding. His advice to his son forms the core of the surah: never associate partners with Allah, remain grateful, honor your parents, be mindful of every action, maintain prayer, promote good, avoid evil, practice patience, and cultivate humility in behavior and speech. Luqman also teaches reflection on Allah's creation as proof of His infinite power and wisdom, showing that the heavens, the earth, rain, plants, and all life are signs meant to guide and inspire gratitude. He warns against deception, pleasures, entertainment, and worldly distractions that can mislead hearts, and reminds us of the temporary nature of this life, encouraging focus on actions that carry eternal value. The surah emphasizes that some knowledge, like the timing of the hour, the place of death, or the outcome of future events, belongs only to Allah, teaching trust, reliance, and humility. Finally, it closes with a powerful reminder to hold fast to Allah's guidance, integrate wisdom into daily life, and seek closeness to Him through reflection, gratitude, and righteous action. By reflecting on Sūrah Luqmān, we see that wisdom is a combination of faith, gratitude, character, reflection, and action, and that living a mindful, obedient, and reflective life brings peace and purpose. If you found this summary helpful and inspiring, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more deep dives into the Qur'an, stories of the prophets, and timeless lessons for daily life. Stay connected, stay enlightened, and let your heart absorb the wisdom of Allah's words. As we conclude this reflection on the wisdom of Sūrah Luqmān, remember that these lessons are meant to be lived, not just heard. If this message inspired you, helped you reflect, or strengthened your faith, please subscribe to my channel, share this video with others, and stay tuned for more powerful Quranic reminders and timeless Islamic guidance. May Allah grant us wisdom, understanding, and hearts that accept the truth.